Welcome back to Sparky Park's Angels franchise. We are midway through our second season here. It is 2025 in MLB The Show 24, and our Angels are just under 500. They had a hot start to the year, but they cooled right off in May and have struggled to keep with that pace throughout the season. We got to the mid-season festivities just continuing to hover around 500. This team has been playing well considering the injuries. We lost Edmundo Sosa for about 7 weeks. He's our starting third baseman, so we had to play a couple of fill-ins through nearly 2 months, and then we lost Mike Trout again. It was a devastating loss. So we've been playing good baseball considering our lack of star talent at the heart of the team. We had our the draft. We had the first pick in the 2025 draft. And we were hoping for a position player, but we went with a starting pitcher. We're excited to see how all those signings went and where that all goes. There is so much, so much to look forward to in that. This team also has they started shopping 2 of their players going into the trade deadline. We have Jordan Montgomery, who we picked up on a 1-year deal just for this purpose. Both of them for this purpose. We picked up guys we thought we could trade at the deadline to contending teams if we weren't ourselves contending. And Jordan Montgomery has been great, pitching to a 2.7 ERA for us, 10-6 record. He would be very valuable, I think. And then the other is J.D. Martinez, the designated hitter. There's got to be a team that needs some power, DH or some power off the bench. So we're looking to deal those 2 at the deadline and see where we are. So let us jump right in. We have this deal going to the Diamondbacks. We looked around to see who would take J.D. Martinez, and that was contending. And the Diamondbacks are trying to get there. They have a solid team. So we're going to try and give David Hernandez, a left-handed 18-year-old pitching prospect. We like his makeup. He's the main one we're looking for too. And then this other one is Caleb Roberts, a C potential, though he's approaching his prime. He's a catcher, bats left-handed. I think we have such little catching depth. I thought we might grab him. And so to try and get that extra catcher who we're gonna trade one of our low-rated catchers to make that deal happen. So let's go ahead and get that one done. So that I thought he could replace Matt Thayus in our lineup. Now here's Jordan Montgomery. The Atlanta Braves have the best offense in baseball, but they have some needs at starting pitcher that I think Jordan Montgomery can fill. He is having an amazing season for us, and we think that would be a great opportunity to send him to the World Series favorites. In return, we'll get Owen Murphy, a B potential starting pitcher. He's 68 overall right now. He is not having the best time at AAA right now, but we'll give him a chance at AA. And then we have another low-rated prospect here, Pierre-Olivier voucher. I'm going to trade him out for Graham Edwards. They're about the same overall, and Graham Edwards has 4 more years to reach his potential. He is a project. He's got a chance to hit for a little bit of power up there, but we are not looking for much out of him other than depth for us at the moment. But this will give the Braves a strong rotation for the playoffs and give them a better chance to win. I think they would take it. I was avoiding taking some bigger opportunities for us that just didn't seem terribly realistic. I didn't think we could get a number 1 or 2 prospect out of a team for Jordan Montgomery. I don't think that works well. But look at their rotation now. He immediately slots in as number 2. And so this leaves us with a couple of needs here. We need to promote a pitcher and a position player. So looking at our team at AAA, it's a choice between Zach Plesac and Chase Cheney. Cheney having the stronger season slightly than Plesac. But I already felt terrible not having Plesac on our Major League roster at the start of the year, so I think he is the one to promote at this point, and we'll give Chase Cheney a chance. Maybe we'll bring him up at the September call-ups. Meanwhile, David Lakdawala is still dealing for us at AA. I want to keep him there through the season and get him a chance to just improve those hitting and Ks per 9 stats there. All right, let's take a look at the impact on our rotation and our lineup. So now we've got Jay Silseth, Reed Detmers, Max Scherzer, and so we're going to put Griffin Canning into the rotation. Zach Plesac will be our long reliever like he played for us last season. He's already had he had a 1 rough outing for us already. He pitched 1/10 of an inning or 1/3 of an inning and gave up a few runs. Meanwhile, Michael Kopech is pitched 2 2/3 innings and it's looking pretty solid for us. Andrew Wantz and Jimmy Herget are still pitching stellar at the back end of our bullpen. Looking at our lineups, Nolan Schanuel leading off against righties. Let's take and we promoted Evan White. He was batting 325 with I think over 10 home runs at AAA. He earned the spot. His attributes are jumping up, and so he has earned the right to be promoted to the team. And in 3 games, he's already batting 300 with 4 RBI. So he is he's off to a great start for us here right after the trade deadline. We'd like to see him continue to progress here. He doesn't have the highest ceiling, but I would love to see some of that power, some of that hitting improve. He may even be he's a better fielder than Schanuel, so we may consider that if he sticks with the team long term. Now let's take a look at how our draft did. Amari Fernandez, our top pick, came out B potential. As you can see, we ended up with a really strong class this year. Fernandez ended up 88 over potential, 70 overall. He looks fantastic. The one knock here is his durability. I didn't see that on the card. I guess that's one thing I need to remember to pay more attention to. Daryl Stabby, he was injured. We found this out during the signing period. He had opted out and ended up being injured, so that has limited his potential. He's now only 79, which puts him a C, a high C potential, but his hitting stats, attributes, fielding attributes, and speed and stealing are all pretty strong already. I mean, honestly, he could be playing in the majors today. Very disappointed that he was limited that way. Matthew Schultz, our discovered relief pitcher, coming in at B potential, 60 overall. Little disappointed that his two-seam fastball is only 89 miles an hour. His velocity numbers look like they were going to be strong, but the two-seamer is slower pitch usually than four-seam. Dallas Ross ended up being exactly what we thought he might be. A potential, 93 potential, 54 overall. Look at that stamina. He is going to be a workhorse. With a 91 velo on his fastball, he is going to his best approach will be to hope to be a Greg Maddux type, though he does not have that kind of control. He does already excel at limiting hits per 9, but he has a lot of growing up to do. Dallas Ross. Ray Liss came in at 88 potential, 58 overall. We knew he would be a project, so that's no surprise. But look at that. He turned out to be a strong power option for us at first base. Love the fact that he may develop a little bit of a glove potentially. He's got a little bit of work to do there. He has a lot of work to do everywhere, but he is a prototypical old school first baseman, and I love it. Now here's Gil Garcia, another A potential pitching prospect. He has a long way to go, but look at that velo from the left side. Gil Garcia is going to be a stud. I can see it for the future. Well, now let's take a look at the draft in order. We've got Amari Fernandez at number 1, and then at number 2 was Sean Lozano to the Yankees, 70 overall, 89 potential. He looks like a strong pick at number 2 for them. Then at number 3, we had Steven Chen. He was the one we thought was a reach. He's a B potential still, 63 overall, but only 81 potential. He is a bit, I wouldn't say a bust, but he's going to be a bit of a stretch there. Will Cheney, who we also were liked, has a longer road, but he has an 87 potential. And then Cesar Vizcaíno, he was the top player on our board, coming in at 64 overall, B potential player, 89. So all of those top prospects on our list, all high B potential players, all 4 of those pitchers that we were looking at, they all look strong for these ball clubs that took them. So coming up next is Rick Weston, second base. He is going to be a bust, 70 overall, 70 potential. That's exactly what I was afraid would happen for him. He does look like a strong major league player already, but he does not have a lot of growth potential to come. Next was Mike Takahashi to the Sacramento A's, 64 overall, low B potential starter, does not have a great max velo at 89 on his two-seamer. That's Mike Takahashi. Next, we had Ron Gonzalez. He looked very strong, projected as a mid-first rounder, but he's at 82, potential 67 overall. After that was Emilio Chavez, who we projected him as a bust. He is 77 overall with a 72 potential, meaning he is likely to regress immediately. Feel bad for them. Eli Mateo, the second position player to be noticed, C potential, 74 overall, picked by the Guardians. He is not a strong pick for them. Next was Connor Hamill. He does look like a good pick. He has a 60 overall, but look at those hitting stats. He could hit Major League pitching already. He, however, could not field well, so they'll work on that as he works out to his B potential. After that was Thomas Hughesby. He looks like a big win for the Tigers. 62 overall. Again, he could hit Major League pitching right now. He could field, probably not third base. We'd probably like to see him at second, though. Third wouldn't be terrible for him, but he's a 90 potential. He is an A-rated prospect, the first A-rated prospect to come out of the draft. Thomas Hughesby to the Detroit Tigers. That's a big, big pickup for them. Love that for that team. Next is Julio Gomez. He's a bit of a disappointment, but he is a B potential player, 60 overall. Next is Bernardo Vina, the first A potential starting pitcher, 66 overall. At 18, he's got tons of stamina already, 93 potential. The Cards snagged themselves a surprise in the first round of the draft. That is a great pickup for them. The Mariners, our division rivals, pick up Bobby McCall. He is, again, ready to hit some Major League pitching with 88 max potential. Gavin Ruiz to the Mets at third base, mid-C potential player. Big, big disappointment for them. Coming up after that is Tom Crawford to the Reds. He is a project as a starting pitcher. He throws left-handed. He's got a ways to go, but he is B potential, and we'll see some time in the middle of their rotation. Now, Enrico Cairo to the Milwaukee Brewers looks like a stud. He's the guy I wish I had known was that good. 97 potential. He's 68 overall already. He can hit. Look at those 70s hitting and contact and vision. Look at that speed, 90. And he already knows how to steal bases. He is a terrible fielder. They'll have to work on that, especially if they want to keep him at second and not move him into the outfield. But that guy is the surprise of the draft. Toronto Blue Jays picked Danny Diaz, starting pitcher, C potential. He looks like a reach in the first round. After that was Henry Ono, and oh no, they didn't sign him. The Diamondbacks couldn't get their first pick, their number one pick. The Padres picked up Aldo Zarate, a high C potential starter who looks okay. Dwight Duncan goes to the Rays. He is 63 overall already, 82 potential. He is a strong first round selection. Next was Pablo Cabrera, who is a bit of a reach for the Cubs here at a 73 potential, 63 overall. Next, Isley Davidson to the Orioles, the biggest whiff of the first round outside of the Diamondbacks, a D potential prospect. Remember, he was rated in the 20s by MLB.com. So they missed out on that one too. The Braves picked Manny Gutierrez, left fielder. He was projected as a top 30 prospect at the beginning of the season. He is only C potential, but they grabbed Freddie Wong. Look at that guy in the third round, and Steven Lopez. So they made up for it later on. in their draft. But that first round selection is a doozy. The Twins took Theo Jones, another terrible pick. D potential, only 69, though they got themselves a closer of the future. The Astros chose Brian Mortero. He turned out to be a fine pick, 61 overall, 80 potential, so he's a low B. Should be a decent big leaguer eventually. And we're nearing the end of the first round, and the Phillies took William Haynes, a starter. He is only C potential. And then the Rangers took Yuichiro Sato, another C potential pitching prospect. So this pitching heavy draft, a lot of teams went pitchers in the first round, and but not all of them have turned out. Russell Chaney is another one of those, to the Dodgers, 71 potential. So that rounds out the first round. As you could see as we went through, I wasn't highlighting them very quickly because I didn't want us to spend a whole lot of time on them. But some of those teams were able to pick up some strong relief pitching in that between the first and second rounds. Looking at our draft class now with Amari Fernandez at the top of it, I still feel good about this as our top pick, especially given what we knew and where we were getting started. Darryl Stabby is, like I said, is a real disappointment. I hoped he could have been a real asset for us. But Matthew Schultz, Dallas Ross, Ray Liss, Gil Garcia, all projects, but I think they all project to be really, really good players down the line for us. So we have a first round pick this year of a pitcher, and a first round pick last year of a pitcher, both of whom I expect will be future aces for this team. I'm excited to see Ray Liss hit some minor league baseballs. I think he is going to hit for a ton of power coming up, and should project really, really well for us. So let's take a look at the draft for everyone else. Let's see how this turned out. The A's didn't do terribly well. The Seattle Mariners got themselves a big guy at the top of the draft, so they whiffed the rest of the way. The Rangers didn't do very well. The Braves got themselves a couple of strong picks, especially Freddie Wong as a huge upside. Luis Machado at the end of the draft, big time upside. Marlins grabbed a couple of guys, including Eric Ullman, guy 96 potential closer. That guy's going to be a monster. They got themselves a couple of relievers. Mac Brewer for the Mets at the bottom looks of their draft looks to be strong. William Haynes, top of that draft. The Nationals, they got a good solid first pick. Cubs, meh. Reds, Brewers, this is the kind of draft where you don't care how the rest of the draft goes. You get a guy like Enrico Cairo, and it makes the whole thing. Cardinals had a strong draft too. The Rockies, that's a good draft. They have a couple of high B potential guys. The Dodgers turned out a good draft with those two after a really terrible draft in season one. But Charles Montenegro, right field for them of the future. Ike Monahan of the Padres, closer of the future. The Giants got a couple of B prospects. Same with the Orioles have two Bs and an A there. The Yankees had a strong top of the draft. The Blue Jays did all right. The White Sox did okay, average. The Tigers did okay with that top pick and a B potential guy down there. The Royals got themselves Shelby Lytle. He's the guy I was looking at. I thought had potential. Look at that. Look at that huge potential. He's a great fielder. Holy cats. And he's got big time power. That guy right there, Shelby Lytle, will be watching him play in Kansas City. But they got themselves two A prospects. The Twins got an A prospect. All right, that is it. That's our draft class. I think this draft class deserves an A minus. I think given how the show ran a few years ago, this would have been a B plus A minus class. I could have gotten to myself stacked with some top picks. But this, given the way it goes now, this was the best class in baseball. The Angels got themselves loaded with this. We got a couple of A prospects and some high B prospects. This is a really good draft. I feel good about it. But I think that's going to wrap it up for us. This is our last episode before we get into the sort of end of season time. I think we're gonna move quickly toward our September call-ups and figure out how to do the rest of season stuff. So we can look forward to that next time. But thank you for being here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Take care. Peace.